Seanna Harris. Every cowboy has a story, and we are at the Runability Barrel Race, and I'm here with Seanna.
Yes.
Yay, Seanna! And she has Faith-Filled Photography. So while we're sitting here, we're going to do a story.
Yeah.
How do you know Maddie? What's your part in all of this here today?
Yeah, so I actually met Maddie. We used to rodeo together. So we actually, so this feels like coming home.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
So when you hear the word rodeo, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Really, the heart and the horses, and you put your heart into this.
Yes, absolutely. So what Maddie is doing today is, so we're here with Maddie. We're taking money, so this is going to be like, we're going to stop and go. But just let everybody know, what is this Runability and what is Maddie's heart? You being her friend, and explain a little bit of what's going on here.
Yeah, Runability is the annual barrel race that they have to benefit rideability. And rideability is for children with special needs, and they also extended their services to veterans.
Awesome.
And they offer riding lessons and things and therapy for these children and veterans.
Absolutely. When Maddie and I met, like just a couple of months ago, really, like we just hit it off, kind of like you and I, just like it's such a camaraderie of just family. And so when you help Maddie, there's a lot of volunteer work that goes on. And if you guys see, like, this is just getting started. And, Maddie has poured her heart into this for several years now. Several years this has been going on. All right, you're here. You're volunteering. You're supposed to be taking pictures, but you and I are tag teaming this gate thing, just enjoying the time. Tell me, first of all, Faith-Filled Photography. I love that. What is some of your photography work that you love to do?
So my specialty in photography is church and worship events, but I do a little bit of everything. I do rodeos, I do families, I do weddings, I do a little bit of everything.
And today, what brings you out here, obviously?
Yeah, my heart for rideability is...
So you're here and you're volunteering your time because this is your heart, and we have the same fingernail polish. Oh my gosh!
I noticed that earlier.
I just now saw that. Okay, you're volunteering your time, and to me, in my perspective, time is one of the most valuable gifts you have, because the less you have of it, the more priceless it becomes.
Absolutely.
And you can't ever get back what you've spent. So what is it that would make you decide, I'm going to come out here and sweat in 100-degree weather and volunteer my time to take these pictures?
I just feel like God has blessed my business so much that He allows me to do things like this. And I don't feel like it's a waste of time. I love being out here, and I love to donate my time to do that.
Awesome. So you had mentioned that you rodeoed with Maddie.
I did.
So that was sweet. Did you rodeo with like the high school rodeo, or just like little jackpots?
Yes, we had a winter series, and it was actually down the road in Clover at B&B Arena. And so we had winter series rodeos, and we just...
What events did you compete in?
Barrel racing, pole bending, a little bit of everything.
What's your favorite?
It used to be barrel racing.
But
I fell off one time and got hurt really badly, so I don't do it anymore, but I do miss it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
To somebody that's watching this, or a parent, or a young girl herself, and she's like, man, I think I would just like to try barrel racing one time, what would you tell her?
I would tell her to do it and chase her dreams.
Absolutely.
There's a little bit of risk involved, but anything good in life involves risk. And you cannot... There's no love like the love between a girl and a horse.
Hey, I said, you buy a girl a horse and she'll leave the boys alone.
That's right.
I have 5 girls, so yeah, we'll buy the horses.
Yes, 5. All the horses.
Yes, spend that time. So when you're taking pictures, you have to have a special eye for what your video. Hold on 1 second.
Mom, this is how I drink it. Ready?
Yours
is really sweet. It's delicious.
Perfect.
It's delicious. She's tried it.
Yours is very sweet.
Oh, that is good.
Try mine.
Here, try mine.
Try all the coffees.
They all taste the same.
They do?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
What's the difference? All right, we're trying to do video. Love you, girls. What has been the best advice you've ever been given?
Just to follow God's direction. For a while, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I bounced around 1,000 different directions, and finally, when I released it over and gave it to God, like, He has blessed it so much. So I wish at the beginning I would have just prayed about it and thought about it and followed His direction instead of doing the things that I wanted to do. But we came back around. It's okay.
Oh, I think God has to be like, Seanna, get back here, come back in, honey.
Yes.
So is this have you attended all of Maddie's events that she's done like this?
I have not. This is my second one as the photographer. So.
This is my first, so I'm super excited. I mean, what better purpose and cause?
Yes.
And the Bible tells us to always, when you do something, do it for somebody else.
Yes.
And when you give your time for other people, I think God will bless that.
Yes.
As a Christian, what is something that I think everybody struggles, and I think sometimes people are like, man, I'm loving the Lord, I'm doing all the things, and I'm struggling. Why am I struggling so much? What advice do you have to somebody who might be struggling or going through a hard time right now?
Just to keep on pressing into Him. I think a lot of the times we go through things that we don't expect, but they're not unexpected to Him. And I think the biggest advice I could give is, like, when hard things happen, not to draw back from Him, but to push into Him even more, because He has something He's trying to teach you through those moments.
Yeah. I think like God and I are real with one another, and he probably is like sometimes I think He's just been like, girl, please.
Oh, yes.
So how many years did you rodeo?
I rodeoed probably 3 or 4 years. I didn't do it too long.
Sweet. What do you miss most about it?
Just the camaraderie of everyone coming together and rodeo friends, and we all had our little group of people. We did riding lessons together too. So we rode together during the week, and then we rodeoed together in the weekend. So.
When you look back over your life and you think of where you are today, and this could be rodeo, not rodeo, whatever, who comes to mind of like that person impacted my life? That person changed my life. All right. So who has impacted your life?
So somebody that has really impacted my life is my husband. I used to be really shy, socially awkward, had so much anxiety. You can't tell, can
No, not at all.
Right. He has pushed me to pursue my dreams, and I'm not going to say that I am who I am today because of him, but he did have a big impact on that, him and God. He pushed me back towards my relationship with Christ and to find myself.
I love it.
And I wouldn't be anywhere without him.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
Do you have a Bible verse that is like, Now mine changes depending on my attitude, my season, my mood.
Yes.
Sometimes it's Dear Jesus, but is there a Bible verse or anything that like you just cling to that?
Yes, my favorite Bible verse has always been Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have for you.
I love it.
And a special thing about that is my grandma, she actually had lupus, and she was sick for many, many, many years. And the Sunday before she passed away, my pastor asked her to stand up, and she had her Bible. Sorry, I'm not going to tear me.
No, you go ahead.
And she stood up. He said, I want you to repeat this verse after me, and I want you to read this verse. And it was Jeremiah 29:11. And he did know the plans that he had.
He really does. And I'll just go ahead and tell you, everybody I've interviewed has cried.
Oh, good. So I'm not.
So you will not be you will not be the only one. But you know why you cry? Because it means that much to you,
right?
And it's that important, and it touches your soul and heart that much. So I think it's great, and it hurts so much when you lose a loved one because you love so much. And just think of the person that never gets to experience that love. All right. Let's talk about Jesus. Why do you think people need Jesus in their life?
Oh my goodness, you couldn't do it without him.
I couldn't.
You can't do it without him.
I couldn't. I tell everybody, like, I'm that person that needs double Jesus.
Right.
I know me with Jesus, and I know me without Jesus.
Yes.
Please take me with Jesus.
Yes, please. Yes.
I'm that one that like I gotta have like 5 Bibles because Lord, you got Lord, you know, make it stick with me today.
Yes.
But what would you just say to somebody that they're like, man, I just don't know about this Jesus thing, and doesn't Jesus love me anyway? What would you tell them?
I would say to really dig. To really dig. And it's worth it to dig. And at first you may not see that. You may just look at it like, you know, it's something you have to do, but it's not. When you find that relationship with Him, it's worth everything.
I look at it like this. You know, I have Jesus Farm Ministry, and I'm a mom to 7 kids, and I'm under, like, I know the Billy Graham family, I know RTB, Restore the Broken, I know Trey Johnson Ministry, and I'm just like, God, I wouldn't ever want to disappoint them, and I don't want to disappoint Jesus. And I do daily, especially if I have to drive somewhere, and people don't know how to drive. They didn't go to the same driving school as me. All right, skipping around because we are stopping and doing this like, I think we've stopped 20 times. And apparently we are very like-minded because we're both like, what were we saying? All right, so what is your favorite rodeo memory?
Oh my goodness. This is not a bad one, but my mom's going to have my head for this. It's funny now. We can laugh about it.
Okay.
I was barrel racing one day. My mom was on a heart monitor. They thought she... Right? Okay, you already know how this is going.
Okay.
So, and this is not even like with my horse, nothing. So my mom was on a heart monitor because they were checking out her heart for issues. And I'm coming, I think I was barrel racing.
She's a rodeo mom.
She's a rodeo mom.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was coming off the 3rd barrel and running. My stirrups were up too high and I didn't know it before I ran. And so I went over the horse's head. The only rodeo I ever fell off of the horse.
Oh, my.
And the next thing I know, Miss Luann tells my kid this all the time, which is Maddie's mom. She tells my kid all the time. She's like, we were climbing those fences and jumping and trying to get your mama. But it's funny now when we laugh about it because I was like, Mama, if you didn't have heart problems, you did after that rodeo.
Really?
But to hear them tell it, it was like so awful. And to me, I'm like, I'm fine. I was just brushing it off as we do.
Yes.
Yeah. But my mom and Miss Luann were jumping the barriers to get over there. And it's hilarious. We can laugh about it now.
Yes.
We were not laughing then, though.
No. So how many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids.
How old are they?
6 and 11.
If this was the last thing you ever said to your kids, what would you want to tell them?
To find a relationship with Christ. Nothing else in this world is ever going to matter more than that is going to matter.
What would you say to somebody that feels like they've failed at life, failed God, just, man, what would you tell them?
I would say it's not too late. I've failed so many times in my life and it feels like the end of my life, but God has turned it around so much for good.
Yes.
And I'm in places today that if you would have told me that I'd be here today, I would be like, you're crazy.
Can you think of a time that you know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, God showed up?
Oh yes,
He
there's
showed up
so many times.
And that's prominent in your walk.
There's been so many. We actually, my daughter's a type 1 diabetic. She has a lot of health issues.
Dear Jesus.
She has a
Lord
lot.
bless her.
And that's not all, but we had one time specifically, and we were living in Boone, and we had taken her to the hospital, and she was in DKA, which for diabetics is life-threatening. And we had to have her transported to Charlotte, to Levine's. And when we got there, she was not cohesive at all. She didn't know that she was in the hospital for 2 days. We thought we were going to lose her. And at that time, I just had so much peace, and it did not make sense. Because, I mean, she was laying in the hospital bed, you know, and things. And I could tell that God was with us all throughout that. And every time we've had those things since, you know, she's been hospitalized quite a few times. And God just gives me so much peace that, you know, I can be mommy and I can be there for her and not be afraid when any other time I'm afraid.
Absolutely.
She actually had a seizure one time and God definitely took over. I knew what to do, and I'm like, then, you know, after the whole situation, I had my little breakdown. I'm like, thank you, Jesus, just for giving me the knowledge when I needed it. And I know it was Him, because on my own I could not have done that. I would have been a ball of stress.
Yes. amazing.
Yes.
It truly is. When you think about heaven, what do you think it's like?
Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. I'm just excited for it though.
I know, I am too. I'm just like, and I think it's like this.
Yes.
I think it's front porch sitting, it's visiting, it's
Praising all the time.
praise and worship.
Yes.
All right, so praise and worship. And actually, like all last week, every devotion I had, and I don't go by a devotion book. I'm just like, God, what do I need today? Tell me all the things. And everything just kept turning to praise and worship. What are some of your favorite praise and worship songs? You said that you actually you take pictures.
Yes, for worship.
For praise and worship events.
Yes.
So what is that like?
It
Just to capture those moments.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's one of my favorite things, just to capture the intimacy that people have with Christ.
Yeah.
And the group that I actually photograph for is called Breakthrough Worship, and they come around and they set their microphones up, and all the people just like spread around them. But it's just so, we do it in coffee shops and different venues all over the place.
I love it.